Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. I am Dr. Sathia Zafar and in this lecture I will continue my talk on the direct value of biodiversity. As we know that biodiversity is very important and we are getting different benefits from the natural resources that are provided by the biodiversity, and we get the different benefits from the biodiversity, the recreation, culture, and as for the aesthetic purpose, we directly use the biodiversity as it provides the different cultural resources, recreation opportunities that is very important for reducing the stress and enhance the lifestyle. In the last lecture, as we have discussed, that biodiversity is very important and we use directly the biodiversity for food purpose, for medicine, for production of fuels, and used for different economic purpose. In this lecture, I will discuss the recreational, ethical, and aesthetic and the cultural or spiritual value of biodiversity. First of all, I will discuss the social value. The social value of biodiversity includes the aesthetic, recreational, cultural, and spiritual values. The traditional societies, which had a small population and required less resources, had preserved their biodiversity as a life supporting resource. Thus, apart from the local use or sale of products of the biodiversity, there is the social aspect in which more and more resources are used by affluent the societies. What is the aesthetic value? Aesthetic value is the value that an object or event or the state of affairs that have in the virtue of its capacity to elect the player or displayer, means anything or object that is used for the fluctuation of our mood or which provide us the source of the enjoyment and give the player or displayer. The beauty of our planet is due to biodiversity. In other words, we can say that our planet is beautiful due to the presence of a wide range of the biodiversity, which could have resembled other barren planets dotted around the universe. Means in other planets where the biodiversity is not present, that is not as meaningful as this planet is. The biological diversity adds to the quality of life. As we know that each organism or each species has very important role in the ecosystem, and absence of a single species that disturb that ecosystem or food chain or food web. So for the better quality of the life, diverse biodiversity is very important. Ecotourism, which has now become a major source of income in many countries, in which very diverse biodiversity is present and is the source of attraction for and has source of attraction for many peoples, and people go there to see the large amount of the different organisms. In many societies, the diversity of flora and fauna has added to aesthetic value of that place. What is the purpose of aesthetic? Basically, the aesthetic is the study of beauty, and beauty is important for the life because it is representative of our values, and the values are beautiful because they define our action through life. With ethics, we are able to define the nature of our values. Importance of aesthetic value. Aesthetic value is immediate and durable. It increases the enjoyment as they provide opportunities for the enjoyment and appreciation. They have goal setting, as Albert Einstein quotes that the perfection of means and confusion of goals seem, in my opinion, to characterize our age, and urges that the goal in natural resource management are not to be set by science. It means it elevates our mind and judge right from the wrong, and aesthetic values are a reassurance of logic and sound design. Cultural values of biodiversity. Human culture co-evolve with their environment, and therefore the conservation of biological diversity can also be important for cultural identity. The natural environment provides many inspirational, aesthetic, spiritual, and educational needs of people from all cultures, both now and in future. The conservation of biological diversity also has ethical benefits. The presence of a wide range of living organisms reminds the people that they are but one interdependent part of Earth. Biological diversity conservation can contribute to the conservation of cultural identity, that is the aboriginal cultural identity. Cultural values of biodiversity with human. It provides various ecosystem services. Land is being transformed from wilderness to agricultural, and non-material benefits including the spiritual and aesthetic value, knowledge the system, and value of education. The health risks that are associated with the biodiversity, drug discovery, as we discussed in last lecture, that most of the drugs are directly obtained from the plants, animals, and microorganisms that provide various pharmaceutical products. Biodiversity maintain the cultural heritage. Plant resources are elements which permits the virtually all forms of social interactions, which are certainly great symbolic significance. Camel dancing on the festival occasion in the scene is very important and had very long history. Coconut that is used for religious and cultural purpose in Southeast Asia. Turmeric, which is very important for medicinal point of view and used as an antibiotic, and turmeric is also very important for cultural and religious point of view in Indian culture. As we know that turmeric is used for making the sandoor, and sandoor that is used for representing the married woman, means the sandoor used by Suhagan means Sohagan women mostly use the sindoor, means there is a this is the symbolic way in Indian culture. And mostly Christians, they use the flowers at wedding time and in marriage events. They believe that the white flowers make them honest to each other. Ethical and moral values. It is based on the principle of life and let others live. Ethical values related the biodiversity conservation are based on the importance of protecting all form of life, means all organisms have equal rights to live on the earth. In other words, all form of life have the right to exist on the earth. Man is only a small part of earth's great family of species, so they don't have right to disturb the other organisms or other biodiversity. What are the ethical values of biodiversity? Ethics would come in the picture for human actions impacting the biodiversity, increasing the human needs of food, shelter, energy, and other has modified the biodiversity mostly in negative way. For example, the pollution, land degradation, desertification, and the extinction of species mostly they all are due to anthropogenic activities. Anthropogenic activities that are the human activities that disturb the other biodiversity. So all these actions that have negative impact on the biodiversity are considered as unethical. At this point, we take the help from a principle that stated that if the output is positive, considering all inputs gone into the act such as economical, physical, cultural, and natural. If the net output is greater than input, then the activity would be considered the ethical. But for this, you need to correctly assess the damage to biodiversity done. For this certain tools, for this purpose, certain tools are available such as the environmental impact assessment and the social impact assessment. For example, a dam is built which could lead to submergence and migration of animals and humans. Same time, various benefits achieved from this project, such as the generation of electricity, it provides tourism, irrigation, navigation, and provides opportunities for employment. But action and responsibilities to decline the Earth's biodiversity. The science section noted several human actions that are accelerating the decline of Earth's biodiversity. Extensive deforestation is destroying the habitats that affect the health and biodiversity of soils, plants, insects, animals, which are very important for better human life. Intended or unintended human introduction of invasive species into natural habitats is breaking down the delicate species balance and diversity of healthy ecosystem. Loss of forests due to expanding the agriculture, mining, road buildings, urbanization is increasing, and the rate and extent of global climate change. Human induced habitat fragmentation and animal poaching is amplifying the extinction of plant, insect, and animal species. How to overcome the ethical challenge? To address the ethical challenges of Earth's declining the biodiversity, we return to three foundations of healing the Earth's environmental ethics. The natural world, that is the value of environmental sustainability, balance the nature's intrinsic and instrumental values. There are some references, and thank you for students for your attention.